Okay, so we are going to be adding in a bed into our room here. This is going to be, arguably the most challenging of all the things that we have in here so far. So this video might be a little longer than the other ones. We'll see. Um, so what we're going to do is we're going to put our bed underneath of this window over here. So I'm going to start by using my ruler, and I'm going to make a vertical line that goes up from this line right here. So I'm going to go up, and I'm not going to go up super high with this. I'm just going to go like, I'm probably drawing like 3/4 of an inch if you're using a ruler. I'm going to make a vertical line like that. And what we're going to do now is we're going to make, this is going to be the side of our bed. We're basically making a rectangle right here. So when we do this, I'm going to start with a top here. Again, we want to make sure that these lines are perfectly horizontal here. We don't want to have like tilting angles of our bed here. So when I say perfectly horizontal, I mean pretty horizontal. Like, you don't have to go insane with this, but like if you're looking at your ruler and it looks like that, it's off, okay? So keep it horizontal. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna make a rectangle here that's gonna go straight out this way. Oh, it's hard to hold my, there we go. So straight out this way. And then what I want you to do when you do this is don't go past your dot and leave a bit of space between the edge of your bed and where your dot is. For if you're using a ruler, mine right now is probably about 3.5 inches wide over here like that, which I think in this drawing should be fine. So that's gonna be that side. And now once I have that, I'm just gonna turn this into a straight up rectangle here. So I'm just gonna kind of come down over here. And I'm going to go straight across from this side over here, from where that little corner is. And I got a rectangle like that, okay? Again, make sure there's space between where this ends and then where your dot is. It's just gonna save you headaches from down the road, okay? All right, so once we have this in here, this is gonna be pretty similar to basically a bed is a building. So if you remember when we did the buildings, this is if you imagine this being like the top of one of our buildings, all the same steps here apply, okay? We're gonna be making lines going back to our point here from this corner, and this corner down here. The only thing that's gonna be a little bit different is that we're gonna do this corner first, and then we're gonna do this one, and then we're gonna come back to this one, and I'll show you why here in a minute. What you're gonna do is, so we're gonna do this corner first. You're gonna put your ruler on our dot, ruler on this corner, and we are going to we're gonna make this angle, we're gonna go back like this, but we're gonna end this line right on this line right here. Don't draw past this over here, okay? And then we're gonna do the same thing from this bottom right corner here. You're gonna put your ruler on your point, ruler on bottom right corner, extend upwards, and this one is going to again end right on this line here where the floor meets the wall over here. Once you've got to this point here, we're going to make a short little vertical line. The height of this, we're just gonna estimate it for right now because we're gonna go vertical up here like that. And then we're gonna go horizontal from this point all the way across over here. So again, this is one where the back side of beds, I always see kids making it at a really odd angle like this. Make sure that the back side of this bed is parallel to this line here of your floor. You want this to be nice and horizontal. So you're gonna go just like this across like that, okay? And if you did everything perfect, you should now be able to put your ruler on your dot. We'll see how perfect I did it, let's see. Put your ruler on your dot, put your ruler on this corner here, and this one here. All three of those should line up. It's pretty decent. It's not 100%, but it's pretty close. Close enough anyway for this that it'll totally make sense. So now we're just gonna connect these two sides here like that. And now we have a general, slightly uncomfortable, hard box on which to sleep. I'm just gonna erase these little lines in here so we don't have to deal with those guys. All right, so a lot of things in a room are box shaped, not just your bed. A dresser is a box, a slightly different shape of a box. I'm going to cover up my window here. If you were going to draw a room and you were going to have bookshelves in your room, your bookshelf would be drawn the exact same way as this, but maybe like to the side, where this is like the side of your bookshelf, and you would have lines going like this, and like all your books and things would be on the shelf in the front there. Okay, so lots of things have that similar shape. But we're right now going to be drawing a bed. So we've got this kind of a general shape here. We're going to draw a specific kind of a bed. You'll have other examples of how to make it a little bit more personal later on, but for now this is just going to be a plain old regular bed. We're going to give it a little bit of a bed frame to it though. So I'm just going to kind of draw up the corner of my wall here a little bit, just to darken in that spot right here. And I'm going to make another vertical line going straight up the other side, the same height. So kind of like that. And then I'm going to connect these 2 points with a horizontal line. This part of my headboard has nothing to do with my point at all. I'm just making a little shape kind of going across like that. We can give it like a little bit of a side here if we want. We can just kind of like slightly darken in that side over here. You could even add like a sliver, super skinny little sliver of a line going across the very top over here. Just like so we can see like the top part of the bed frame over here like that. I'm just gonna keep mine really simple though. We're gonna throw some pillows on here. Pillows are, my way up. So when you draw a pillow, pillows are like, kind of like Hot Pockets, or what's another good pillow shape? I don't know, I always think Hot Pocket. When you draw a pillow, you basically, you don't wanna use a ruler because you want them to be lumpy. So they're just going to be kind of shaped like this, sort of like lumpy, kind of like a curve like that. And then on one side over here, like on the side, like if you were going to see a side to it, this side will just kind of have like a little bit more like this. So it's like a little bit open like that. What are those things called? There's some kind of food where it's like pizza on the inside and dough, but they're smaller. It's not Hot Pockets. I'm totally spacing out on what this is called. Anyway, it looks like anyway, so you'll have them like this, and then if you just kind of like darken in underneath, like right where the pillow sits there, you could add on like a little pattern on there, and it'll look beautiful. Okay, so I'm going to throw on a couple of pillows onto mine. So I'm just going to kind of slightly erase that back edge over here, and I'm going to throw some pillows on here. So I'm going to go and I'm going to I'll throw a couple on there, so a little side. Side up here. You could even throw on like a middle, one of those like little cylinder pillows in the middle that sometimes people have. So again, that's just going to be like a little cylinder, and I'm just going to show like a little bit of that side. It's like an oval shape over on that side. All right, fancy. Okay, so now that we again, to make this thing look, we have like a really hard bed here. To make this thing look not like a wooden prisoner's bed, we are going to lightly drag our erasers over the sides of them to make them not perfectly straight and like a little lumpy. So we're going to draw kind of like a bread on here. I'm not going to totally erase everything though. All I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of drag my eraser over here, drag my eraser over on that top part, and then drag my eraser over there. I don't want to fully erase it. I want to see it like you can kind of see here, but I just don't want it to be as dark. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to start around where my pillow is here, and I'm going to keep that same direction, but I'm going to be like a little more softer and a little more curvy of my line going across like that. And then I'm going to curve down like so, and just kind of like round out those corners and everything. And I'm not going to go all the way down to this bottom side. I'm going to leave a little bit of space, and I'm going to go all the way across. And again, nice, and I'm like following the same direction as my straight lines, but I'm not keeping this perfectly straight here. I'm not using a ruler. I'm just kind of freehanding it. I want it to be lumpy. Now I'm going to go back again towards my dot. I'm following the same direction as these other two lines that are above it and below it, but I'm not going all the way back. And then once I get to around here, I'm just going to go up and then in kind of like that. So I'm going behind my pillow over there. And now I've got bedspread. So again, you could add in some kind of like a pattern on here. Like if you did like, just to kind of give you an example, like if you want to do like, I'm just going to put like diagonal stripes on here. So you can just kind of like freehand in some stripes here on the top. And then But the only kind of thing to pay attention to is once you hit the corner here, you want to kind of change the direction of them a little bit. So it just kind of like comes down like a little bit like that. You can have another one over here. So this just kind of comes down, blah, 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 okay? All right, so that, and then I wouldn't stress about that too much here because what we're gonna do is we're gonna add a little bit of shading to the sides over here to make our bed look a little more three-dimensional. So I'm gonna make this side over here a little darker. And I'm gonna make this side of my bedspread a little darker over here. And I'm gonna make this side over here a little darker, but not as dark as my first side. So I want it to be like a little lighter than my first side. So I can always come back in here and like re-darken in this one a little bit more if I need to. And then I want this to be a little bit darker than the paper, but not as dark as this side over here. Just so it starts to seem a little more three-dimensional going on over there. I can even make my stripes dark to kind of like go crazy with this. So I can have like kind of dark stripes over here, and then where it hits the side, where it's in the shadow, they can be like a little bit darker. Ooh, yeah, yeah. So a little darker here, and then a little darker on the side. Yeah, nice and three-dimensional. A little bit over here. Yeah. Dark, 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 real dark on the side. Yeah. Same thing over here. Dark, dark, dark. I apologize for this in advance. I'm losing my mind. All right. So something like that. And then the last little thing that we're gonna do on our bed here is we're gonna go a little darker right where the bed meets the floor. Okay. If you wanted to add little legs here, you can make like a little like little leg over here. You can put another little one on this corner over here. If you want another little one over here. Keep them short. And then underneath our bed, I just want to have the underneath part of our bed. This is going to be like the 5th step of your value scale that we did earlier in the year, where it's just like a little darker here. All right, actually not a little bit darker. This is going to be the darkest part right here. So really nice and dark here. And then just let it kind of fade out into the white of the paper down below. And then like, again, dark right here, dark, 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 and then fade out into the paper right over here, into the white of the paper. Shadows, so wonderful. All right. So 12-minute video, not too bad. So now we have a fairly decent bed here. Again, you can look up pictures. There are lots of different styles of bed, especially like headboards and pillows and bedspread patterns and things like that, that you can kind of look at to get ideas for. But this is just your basic general bed here. But no matter what, like the general shape though, the perspective of it is going to be the same. Okay. All right, wonderful. So the last thing that we're going to do here is we are going to draw a little table. So I'll see you back here shortly. Bye.